Hey guys, so today I want to talk to you about fact, truth, uh, fiction, lies, beliefs, perspectives, identity, and I will expand upon this further in a presentation when I have gathered my thoughts. I'm just going to go off the cuff right now. So, fact is something that is indisputable. Before the discovery of the atom, the fact was that this was a solid. In fact, today we still identify it as a solid. After the discovery of the atom, we discovered that nothing is truly solid, that in fact it is mostly made up of space. And electrons and protons and neutrons are all moving around with air, space in between them. It's just microscopic, beyond microscopic. Yeah, fact, solid. But is that really? We know now it's not. But facts, if we're identifying facts for the purpose of this video, facts are indisputable truths. The gravity is 9.8 meters per second square, and that may not be the most accurate definition, but 9. Pi is 3.14, technically 159265323, and then it just keeps going. But pi is. Those are facts. They're another way to put it is if we burnt all of the science books and all of the math books 1,000 years from now, they would reveal the same thing because these are indisputable truths, indisputable facts. Truths. What are truths? Well, truths are facts told via perspective. Think about it. Now, this is not a video about race or law enforcement, but it's very relevant. So I'm going to bring up a very relevant example. Fact: you are less likely to be killed as an unarmed black man than an unarmed white man, according to last year's statistics. And really, according to the last 30 years. But according to last year, 2019, you are more likely to be killed if you are an unarmed white person than an unarmed black person. Now, some people will use that statistics to say there is no racism in law enforcement. That is their truth. Fact told through their perspective. I know that that's not the case based on my experience. There most certainly is racism in law enforcement and racism everywhere. So, a fact, like you are statistically less likely to be shot as an unarmed black man than an unarmed white person, fact, does not equate to the truth. There is or there isn't racism in law enforcement, which is a belief held based on perspectives and experiences. Okay? Now, let's bring this back to nutrition and fitness. You may say, truth, I am exercising, let's say, fact, I am exercising 5 times a week for 1 hour. So my truth is, I should be losing weight. That is not necessarily the truth because your weight loss depends on a myriad of factors. How much you're eating, when you're eating, the types of food that you are eating, what type of exercise are you doing, how many calories are you burning, how far do you have to go, how much muscle mass do you have, how much bone density do you have, do you have any illnesses or hormonal imbalances? See, it is more complicated than I should just work out 5 times a week and I will thus lose weight. Or I should eat less food and thus I shall lose weight. Or I should eat more food and thus I will build muscle. Not the truth. Facts are things like calories in and calories out. Your body needs calories in order to, function. And calories are a unit of energy. And so if I eat 3,000 calories, I now have 3,000 calories of energy that my body is to use. How my body uses that are truths based on our experiences. Why does this matter? Well, let's take it even further. What's more powerful than a truth? A belief. A belief doesn't necessarily need to be based in fact. Now, without getting too touchy, right, talking about race, politics, and religion, you have people that have beliefs in religion. Muhammad is the one true prophet. Jesus is the Lord our Savior, and he's the Son of God. And Judaism is, they have their beliefs, and the Krishna and Hinduism, and all these religions have their beliefs. And there may be some facts that they apply to create truths that lend themselves to beliefs. But to say that, Jesus died and rose from the dead 3 days later, and then now sits at the right hand of God the Father, until I was raised Christian, there is no fact There's no fact that there's only the belief, right? There's only the belief. So beliefs are even stronger than truths, which are just facts told through perspective. And then through beliefs, we form our identity, the most powerful of powerful things I'm talking about today. Our identity. I identify as a Christian. I identify as a smoker. I identify as somebody who curses a lot. I identify as a fast driver. I identify as somebody who's rude, stubborn, kind, not racist, racist. I identify as a Republican, a Democrat. Think of these identities and how powerful they are. Identity is perhaps the most dangerous thing that we can develop about ourselves. It can also be the most powerful. And an identity can be why somebody fights to the death for a cause, and the cause hopefully is good or just. But an identity can also be, and in often cases, in my opinion, is the most dangerous thing. And I'll give you some relevant examples to me. I have identified for many years of my life as a fat person or somebody that gains weight very quickly. Why? Well, things that I've experienced in my childhood. That's why. And I was overweight, and I ate unhealthy food, and thus I was fat, right? Is how I was labeled and how I believed I was. And so even today, when I gain 5 pounds, I believe that it's because I'm a fat person. So coming back to these identities, what are some other identities that we can have? Identities that we attribute to ourselves. I have trouble losing weight. I had a client tell me, she knows who she is, and she has trouble losing weight. She's lost 60 pounds to date. If I told you I had a client who's lost 60 pounds with me in the last year, would you say that person has trouble losing weight? Isn't that crazy? Now, an identity, well, they're self-fulfilling prophecies. If I identify as somebody that has trouble losing weight, I will self-sabotage myself without even realizing it because it's who I am. I am a person who binges on ice cream or binges on alcohol. That's who I am. I just am. And that identity becomes really, really hard to break because you won't allow yourself to break it because you believe it's the fact as you know it. I am this person. Now it gets even worse when we attribute it to other people. There's something called the fundamental attribution error. Somebody cuts me off in traffic. That person's an asshole. I have now attributed character to that person based on one act that I have witnessed without knowing anything about that person. I have now labeled them, created an identity that they're an asshole because they cut me off. Meanwhile, it could be a guy driving and his pregnant wife is in the car having a complication with her pregnancy and he fears that his child is dying, as is his wife. And so nothing else matters to that person, including cutting you off. We don't stop and go, why did that person cut me off? Though I think we should. Why did that person do that? Why did that person say that? Why does that person believe that? And kind of bringing it all back, even though this is not a conversation about race, in order to have that conversation about race, you need to be able to, just for a moment, wonder, why does that person think, act, feel, do, believe the things that they do? And if I can understand why, maybe I can reach them and change that point of view. That I am not labeling that person as this thing, and thus unable to be changed. That's identity. And that is why identity is so powerful and potentially so dangerous. Now, what do we want to do with this coaching program? And what's the message? The message is, be careful about the identity you give yourself, or use it for good. Are you somebody who is becoming a non-smoker, becoming a better driver, becoming a better parent, becoming a better spouse? Is that an identity that you are building and trying to create? And if you believe in your head that that's what you're doing and you're creating a new identity, okay, then you will start to do things that support that identity. I am no longer struggling with my weight. Or maybe I am struggling, but I am struggling because I am building a new identity. And that identity is what I'm trying to achieve, as opposed to trying to lose weight and action. But I am somebody that struggles with losing weight, my identity. And you see how those two opposing forces won't allow the thing you want to actually happen? I want to lose weight. I am presently struggling with my weight because I was somebody who struggled with food, but I am working on it to build this new identity. Somebody who is healthy and active and happy with their life and makes positive choices. So be very careful with the things that you say and the thoughts that you think or the beliefs that you have. And understand the differences to the best of your ability between fact and truth and identity and belief and how they can be used for good or for bad. More on this to come, guys. And I know that's a lot for a Saturday morning, but I hope that you find it valuable, and I will talk to you all later.